Hey everyone, Tantail here with the Alabama Airsoft Association, and today we begin a little series on some of the rules we do for our events. A lot of times we get a lot of questions before events about certain rules and everything. We do safety briefs before every event and op we do, but sometimes people don't listen, or maybe they want a better explanation of a certain rule. So basically this series will be many different parts. We'll cover about 2 to 3 rules, depending on the length of the rule, how in detail we'll go. These are definitely not a substitute for the safety briefs. We encourage all players to not only watch these videos, but definitely to pay attention during the safety brief before an event or an op. They're very important, not only for your safety, but for the players around you. So one of the first rules we're going to start off on are the medic rules that we have. Pretty standard across the board. Basically, you have a bandage, ace bandage, wraps, anything that's either tan or white that can be clearly seen. What we ask is that every player carry at least 2 on them that are easily accessible, because if you're hit, you're supposed to be basically playing dead. A player comes up on your team, heals you, wraps it around your arm. They need to be able to get to it. Yes, you can tell them where it's at, but they need to be able to get to it, because a lot of times you want to be as quick as possible because you want to get back in the game. You can be healed for a max of 2 times. After that, you will need to go back to your base or respawn point. At that point, you can remove your bandages, put them back in your pocket. We don't want someone going out there and just ignoring the rules on their, having, infinite lives. The next rule we're going to hit on is our FPS rules. Now, I'm not going to go 100% in depth on this. We'll probably pick apart each one, but the main one we're going to talk about is DMRs and LMGs. So right off the bat, DMRs basically is 450 FPS with .20s, and you have a 50-foot minimal engagement distance, meaning you don't need to be shooting anyone within 50 feet of you. We use the label DMR much like the bigger airsoft organizations, Third Coast, American Milsim. Basically, it's only semi-auto, cannot go fully automatic. Has to be able to fall under that rule set. Just because somebody goes out and attaches a 20 power scope to an M4 does not make it a DMR. Basically, as long as it is locked to semi, cannot go full auto, and it shoots within an FPS range, we will call it a DMR. Now, I know there's people out there who will probably say, well, I have a Chris Vector submachine gun and, I have a 10 power scope on it. Sorry, that's a submachine gun. We're trying to be, fair as possible. We don't care if the FPS is there. A DMR is basically miniguns like the SR-25, the G28, I would kind of call it even the SVD because it is semi-auto. Weapon systems like that. So, we get some people that come up there. If you have an M4 and you got a scope on it, that's fantastic. Our rifleman FPS limit is 400 FPS with .20s. So, yeah, you can put a scope on it as long as you're not shooting 450 FPS. Going on to LMGs, same thing. Basically, there's how we look at an LMG, very similar to the way DMR is. We're looking for certain classifications. Just because you put you have an M4 and you put a drum mag on it does not make it an LMG. People do it, but basically when we're saying LMGs, we're talking about M249s, 240s, RPKs, M27 IARs, the Crytac Trident Mark II. Basically guns that are belt fed, or or LMG in the real world. That's one of the main things we look at, is the classification in the real world. So for assault gunners, it's 430 FPS with .20s and pretty much a minimal engagement distance of 50 feet. Uh, Basically, they can use a box mag or a drum mag. Much like the M27, it can use drum mag, but also can use normal plain Jane M4 mags. So don't. Well, we look at these weapons there in our chrono phase before an event. So just don't be that guy who is just calling his M4 because it has a drum mag on it and an LMG, and expect to go out there with 430 FPS. Come on, just be smarter. And a lot of these FPS are here to help keep everyone safe. We try to copy them just very similar to the bigger milsim events, mainly so that we don't try to force people to change their FPS and their guns just so they can come to our events. Moving on, our last little rule we're going to go over is the eye protection. So it's a rule I think we have laxed on a little bit. It is definitely something we shouldn't have. I think we see it, out of 100 players who come out, we might see 4 or 5 people do it, and we're just kind of like, and we shouldn't have. And this year going forward, we're definitely going to hit on it very hard. It's a safety. No one needs to lose their eyesight. I understand you get out there and you're running, you're gunning, you're going to get hot and you're going to sweat and you're going to fog up. So when we talk about eye protection, we're talking about full seal all the way around the eye, and it's rated ANSI Z87 rated, so that we know it's not going to crack, and we know that it's not one of these gimmick or cheap. When it comes to safety, going cheap is not the best option. Buying something that's highly rated, look at the reviews. If you go somewhere like Airsoft Atlanta, E-Bike, Airsoft Junkies, any of these airsoft websites that have eye protection, look at the reviews, look at the ratings, or if you know somebody who has eye protection and it's working great for them, you say, hey, get some information. It could be something you're exactly looking for. The last little thing I want to hit on is basically what happens when someone does break a rule during an event or op. First time offense is basically remove you from gameplay for the rest of the day and be given an official first warning. The second time, that person will be immediately removed and sent home, but will be suspended from any Alabama Airsoft events for the next 6 months. The third time we catch you, you'll be suspended from any Alabama Airsoft Association events for the next 1 year. Now, hopefully someone who's hit that should have learned their lesson by then. However, the fourth time we catch you, you will be suspended indefinitely. We do this to protect the players who are following the rules. One person breaking the rules, shouldn't ruin it for everybody else. Well, that sums it up for this video. Like I said, we'll be doing these videos, grabbing some rules, and basically going over them in depth. And if you have any questions, not only during any of the rules during this video or any other video, or during the event day of the event, please stop an admin, ask them. If you're confused at any point, don't ignore it. If you're confused about something, please seek out the answer. Not only protects you, but it protects everybody else. We'll be trying to do this about every 2 weeks, but life does get in the way, so we're going to try to do these as much as possible. But, until next time, like I said, my name was Tan Tidwell, Alabama Airsoft Association. Take care.